So, in my personal experience, more than a few times I have offered to teach someone the fundamentals of a handstand, only to have them say, "Oh, I could never do that because I am too old or busy, fat, scared, skinny, or stiff, or poor, or some other unique answer." But some really do have a reason they can't. But for most, this will just be another "I can't because" moment that quickly blends in with all the rest. In this video, I'm going to share some useful information to increase the odds that you actually go after what you believe you are capable of. The cool thing is that it doesn't have to be a handstand at all. That's just what I happen to teach. Let's talk about the root cause of this behavior. The behavior I am referring to is the avoidance of potential opportunity because it is outside your comfort zone or zone of control. We all have a zone of comfort and control, learned early on in life during formative years. We learn to behave, fit in, do no wrong, speak politely, act presentable, and think as our teachers taught us. We learn to pursue pleasure because our social groups told us we should. We take part this way in a larger cycle of comparison, consumption, and conformity. At first, this helps us survive and earn approval, which may even lead to winnings or great status. And we climb the social ranks in the tribe, and it feels amazing to do it. When the majority engage in some form of behavior, the result is methodologies of right and wrong. Wrong ways of doing, right ways of doing. Passed down through generations, we are taught what to do and how to do it right, literally. As an example, think of traditional fitness. It could be said that traditional fitness is the pursuit of optimal health, which includes strength, muscle mass, aesthetics, performance, libido, BMI, among others. The result over generations is an extremely well-traveled path, with signposts galore, warnings plenty, and more evidence than we can imagine for what is right and wrong. This is conventional wisdom, and it exists everywhere. The path might be clear, but you did not create it, and there is little room to question it. Because majority rules, you enter into a state of group hypnosis, and while you receive the approval you seek from your peers, you also have a small voice deep down telling you this isn't the way it has to be. You are surviving, but that is all. What results you get net you attention, but not freedom. You didn't choose your path. No matter how far you walk down that path, there is no turnoff that preserves all of your approval, but gives you freedom. Approval feels good, safe even, so you choose it. Every time you choose it, it gets easier to do it again. This is how social norms are designed. We clearly and simply cannot expect to have all the approval and safety we are comfortable with, while also taking a different path than the majority. It is because of the majority beliefs that we receive approval and comfort buying in, and these do not persist outside of the social norm. Handstands get you to straddle the wall, sometimes literally. Your comfort zone exists because you are human, but how large that zone is entirely up to you. A wise mentor once said, "In every moment of every day, we possess the power of choice to obtain different results." If you believe you have the potential to do great things, which I believe you do you also believe that continuing to do what you are currently doing will lead you to your vision for the future? If not, and if there is a small voice inside you that knows the answer is really, truly no, here are some things to consider. You need to flip-flop perceptions. Remember what I shared about power of choice. Currently, your reaction is two uncomfortable things, one of fear and avoidance. By flipping your perceptions, you must choose to focus on what you currently avoid out of fear, meaning you will focus and face it piece by piece rather than retreat. Trust me, it won't be easy because we are rewarded with approval and pleasure when we give in to pressure to conform. You will be met with reactions of disapproval, and pullback to comfort will be immensely strong. But this is what the majority have to do if they are to stay within their zone of comfort and receive more approval from their peers. You can't see what you don't believe is true. So when you question the norms they live by, you cause immense discomfort for them. Does that sound familiar? You will quickly look like an outsider when you question why we are all afraid. Use that little bit of traction to launch yourself further into the turmoil of so-called fear and discomfort. Number 2, modeling success. This is the extremely valuable strategy. While they are from the majority, far from the majority, they exist. The people in your field of interest who have made it past conventional norms and emerged into their own creation of freedom and expertise in the field. These people are often hard to find, but extremely generous and kind once you connect with them. They could be people who have practiced and coached handstands for many years, or any skill for that matter. They could be people who have been through the threatening events of life and forcing them to double down on the life that they have to live. That is, to make the most of it. They could be mentors who have dedicated their lives to creating a perfect learning environment for their students. A true expert of their craft will never flaunt it, as if they rely on approval or attention to get by. It is these folks who you need to model and learn from. You will discover their way of thinking to be very different from the conventional method, which you already know to be true for yourself. It doesn't require that you uproot your life. No one realistically expects you to abandon the ship. It only requires that you start to push down the wall between comfort and discomfort, using the signals to steer you towards the unknown. Third and final, that is having a fallback plan. Since we all share the experience of being sapien, it's likely that we will default at some point back to our known behaviors, our comfort zone. I know I certainly have. And when this happens, it is mighty helpful to have a fallback plan in place. Your plan can be simple. Something like, when you find yourself falling into old habits and routines, you read a letter that you have pre-written for yourself in preparation for this moment. The letter could be a couple short paragraphs that remind you bluntly of the cost of not pursuing your true freedom. Despite there being an abundance of comfort, secure results, and promise of conventional approval, you are well aware that consumption and pleasure are empty of the freedom you desire. The best plan is creative and suits your personality. I recommend coming up with 2, a simple version and then a very simple version. The potential of spending a lifetime knowing deep inside that you are capable of more than what you're comfortably creating now, but not acting on that for fear of rejection, loss, or failure, just creates a pit of sadness. Learning a handstand is not like sports or weightlifting, or even gymnastics. No. It's firmly rooted outside your zone of comfort and control. I promise you that. Just like it was for me. If chosen, one can easily straddle the wall between known and unknown, and then something miraculous tends to happen. The wall moves. Or rather, you realize it was a fact, an illusion, which you, like most everyone else, had fallen for. From inside, the walls will always look tall and dark and intimidating. But with every step closer, they look more like a mist that dissipates as you touch it. If you like this video, drop a comment below, grab a like, hit the subscribe button, and there will be more videos like this and more resources in the future for making sure that you have what you need to pursue what you want.